Let that prime just for a second. Once she's primed, only takes a second because she's crazy hot. Set that on there. Quick start. Never seem to get that thing centered, can I? Close enough. Let her go. This sucker is crazy. Those lower burners that I have coming out keep the fuel hot and boiling, causing it to constantly put out excess amounts of fuel. Yes, this thing is a gas guzzler, but man, does it boil water fast. Don't turn your eyes, you might miss it. That's 1 minute down. That's 2 minutes down. Not sure why it's pulsating like that. Did it the last time I did it. This is like my third attempt at this, and every time it's done that. That's 3 minutes. I can hear it sizzling. It's boiling just about. Give it about 10 more seconds and I bet the thing's going. Oh. Getting ready to pull the lid off, see if it's boiling. 330 was my goal. Not 100%, but it's there. I don't know if you can see the time. It was 3:30. It started to boil. By 3:40, it was a rolling boil. Now, because this thing boils so hard and uses so much fuel, it doesn't last much longer. And it is next to impossible to blow out. A good strong blow will blow it out, but it's not easy because it's so high powered. That was 2 ounces of fuel, not 1. I had an ounce in there from previously that hadn't burned off. I tried blowing it out, and then I put 1 additional ounce in this time. So there's a total of 2 ounces of fuel in there. So this may burn for longer than the last time I did it. But boy, does it maintain a hot fire. Hard to even reach in there and get it. I think it's just rolling around in there like crazy. Once it gets going, it doesn't stop. That's a grease pot from Kmart that I'm boiling in. Using a Venom can on the bottom. Standard BIOS design. I believe I got that from idea from Penny. One of the stoves that I have here. I got my newest stove today in the mail. Haven't had much of a chance to test that, but I've seen many of those on the internet. Came with this awesome stand. I think Hiram showed me that. I built another stove here that I haven't had a chance to test. It's a wick stove in a can. There's a drill hole right down the center, and it fills the bottom up with alcohol. And then what it does is it shoots a little jet right out of the center here while the wick burns. So the wick doesn't go all the way down. The wick stops right there. Just one layer of wick. And then you fill the inside with alcohol. And then it's in there, still in there still. I don't want to get too close to that because it does get hot. It didn't go as long as I thought. I like the idea I came up there with for a pot stand out of these aluminum cans was pretty neat there. I just curled it down like you see some people doing with the edges. Kind of like the BIOS, just not all the way down. And then I cut out the edges, and that makes a good pot stand for it then. And it also transfers the heat from these down to the bottom, causing the alcohol to boil in the bottom and come out the jet. Which the jet hole, I don't know if I drilled the right size. I broke a drill off in there the first time and had to redo it. So it really wasn't much, and you got to fill it with a little, because of the way it's made, you got to fill it with a little syringe to get it filled. I'll show you that next, how it burns. It's not the greatest. I thought I'd get a better time out of it. It didn't give me a very good time. It burns forever though, because the bottom of that holds about 2 ounces of alcohol. Got a bunch of new stoves. I'm kind of holding out for one from Jared. I can't think of his YouTube name. I'll put it in the list here. But he's got one he's shipping to me for testing. And I just got my stove here. I got to take it apart, and we're going to test a couple different things with that stove. We're going to test the alcohol. We're going to test the propane. Do a little bit of both. Get some burn times for him, using the techniques that I use, so he can see how different people. Oh, here it is. I kind of just mantled some of it. Oops. Snow Peak with the. We're going to take that and we're going to join it with the alcohol. We're going to create actually he's created an all-in-one. Not we. I'm just going to do some testing for him. That's he said he shipped one to me, and we should be getting that next week. So we'll get some pictures up on that. We're dying down here on this one. That's 8 minutes and 20 seconds. But that is two cups of water at cold water out of my faucet, and it's pretty cold right now. I'd say in the 50s. I can check it. Excuse me. 2 cups of water, and I'd say in the 50s. And right now the ambient temperature in this room, and obviously we are indoors, there's no wind. The ambient temperature in this room is probably in the 60s. 62 I'd say. I'm in my basement. It doesn't get real warm down here. You can hear in the background a little fan running. That's my heater to try and keep my pipes from freezing down here. So 9 minutes, still going a little bit there. When this thing goes, it's still a rolling boil in there. Just rolling boil. It doesn't stop, so obviously you don't need to cook water for 9 minutes. Well, you got there about 3.5, so that'd be an additional 6 minutes of boil time there. I don't know if that makes it sanitary or not. I don't know how many minutes you have to boil for to make it sanitary. But we're still going. Now I know that once this thing dies, it's pretty much done. It just sucks out. The modifications that I made from this video to the last one, that inner tube, which is a hairspray bottle or something, I don't remember what it was, that I put inside the Venom can. I wrapped felt around that. And that wasn't there in the last video, but what I did different this time, I took some solder and I soldered the inner tube to the bottom of the Venom can. That allowed the heat to transfer from the pot and the inner tube all the way down to the Venom can, which then I guess was enough heat with the wick. I fill the wick still to keep this burner going. Before, what would happen is this burner wouldn't get going until after 4 minutes of cook time. There was just no heat coming from that felt back to the Venom can. It was all transferring up to the top here and down through the white, but the felt was protecting it from transferring to the Venom can. So now the Venom can is actually touching that white can, and they're actually soldered together. Now we'll find out in a minute here when I take this all apart if my solder is all melted in the bottom. If that were the case, then I've got another issue that no alcohol can transfer from one to the other. I don't think that's the case because I put my alcohol in the center, but now that it's been so hot, I don't know what happened to that solder. I'll check it when this is all done. What is that? 11 minutes, still going. So, and I think we even still have a rolling boil here. Not a rolling boil anymore. Very small. Nah, it's dead. It's kind of just down to a heated water now. As we can see, it's kind of dying out anyway. So, once this dies out, I want to check the inside and see how that solder looks. My camera will hold on there. See if actually the solder melted down completely or if it stayed where it was and didn't transfer the heat down enough to melt the solder. Now I just got to find something to move that pot, because I do not want to grab a hot pot like that and burn my fingers. Just kind of waiting for that flame to burn out. I don't like to move them while they're still on fire here. I could probably blow that out. 12 minutes, we'll call that. I'm going to go ahead and just pick this pot up, set it on my workbench, and then I want to check this and see if I can grab it because I had the felt on there. If the solder didn't melt any additional than it was. Now I don't think you'll be able to see this when I show you this, but let's just look and see. Nah. How about this? I'll come up above it, and you can look down with the light in there. And I think you can probably see how I dropped some solder down in there. Actually, that's getting a little warm, so let me switch fingers there. Yeah, I'll just leave it down there. I think I can twist it and show you how I dropped some solder down in there. And that, I think, is what's helping the heat transfer from the top canister, which is very hot, to the bottom canister, which was not staying hot before. So I don't know what our final time was on that. I think it was 12 something. I'll check. Anyways, we'll do that, and then we'll maybe play with this one a little bit later on, see if we can get another video in tonight still.